A thought leader and a strategic marketing expert, my guest for today has 18 years of cross-industry experience. Please welcome Mr. Rajat Abbi, Vice President Global Marketing Greater India at Schneider Electric. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Soumya.
As we're all aware, you've taken over the new role very recently. I want to understand what were your reasons to join a legacy brand like Schneider Electric, and how do you really aim to build on the existing strengths and capabilities?
I would talk about two things which sort of stood out for me when I was sort of evaluating the role with Schneider. One was about this entire piece around sustainability. So while now we find many companies, many brands talk about sustainability, Schneider as an organization has actually embraced sustainability to the core since many years. I would say not even years, decades. And from a sustainability standpoint, as an organization, we are not just talking about sustainability, but really playing roles on both sides of the equation. On one side, we are sort of helping our customers, our suppliers, etc., become sustainable, more sustainable with our products, with our solutions, technologies, etc. And on the other side, in our own operations, we are becoming sustainable. And now on the side wherein we partner with our suppliers, with our customers, the organization is really partnering with these companies and customers, etc., really understanding what are some of the pain points, what are some of the areas which is holding back these customers, suppliers, etc., from embracing sustainability, and really how can Schneider play a role in driving that sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. The other aspect which stood out for me about Schneider was people practices. Now, in today's world, and I would say even before a pre-COVID scenario, and obviously after a post-COVID scenario, personal life is extremely critical. What has sort of stood out for me personally in a post-COVID scenario is that you need to really work with organizations which really care about people. And Schneider is one of the organizations which has not only talked about diversity, inclusion, equity, etc., but really lived up to this premise over many years. And when I was sort of evaluating this role, I really looked at, is this organization giving me two core things? One is being the independence to work for a purpose-driven brand. So purpose, according to me, is very critical for me as a marketeer, as a business leader, as I make a career progression. And the other aspect is the organization itself being people friendly? Does it care about people? Is it only caring about profits, or does it also stood out for people and purpose? And basically, I think for both these, I would say tenants, Schneider stood out very appropriately on both these axes, and then therefore I decided to sort of move with this assignment.
Sure, fair enough. Sir, we're also well aware of your belief in purpose-led sustainable brands, as you also mentioned in your previous answer. So with so much happening around, how important is it today for a brand to stand as a purpose-driven company? Also, given your experience over the years, have purpose-driven companies come out to be more successful? What are your observations really?
I think it's extremely critical in today's scenario for any company, any brand to be perceived as sustainable, as purpose-driven. But it's not only perception what matters. What matters is, are you also delivering on that perception? So while you're talking about taking a lot of sustainable actions, being purpose-driven, but on the other side, you have to demonstrate. Now, consumers are becoming more and more keen to buy and explore products from those brands which are purpose-driven. So a lot of studies which have been done by external consultancies like McKinsey, Deloitte, etc., have over a period of time shown one fact, which is that almost 60 to 70% of consumers and customers from both a B2B as well as a B2C standpoint are preferring products from brands which are purpose-driven, wherein the brand has to really demonstrate that they are being sustainable, they are purpose-driven, etc. Otherwise, they are not considering products of companies which are not. Now, one of the reasons for that is almost 70% of India's population is less than 35 years old, which means people who are taking decisions are millennials, are the younger generation. And for the younger generation, for millennial, I think purpose is extremely critical. While there are other reasons also for choosing products and solutions, but I think one area which they have clearly seen is purpose. So therefore, brands which can demonstrate that they have a willingness to be sustainable, at the same time, not only willingness, but they are also demonstrating that there are clear targets they have taken. They are proceeding with implementation of those targets. They have demonstrated efforts, real efforts on the ground to achieve those targets are the brands which our consumers and customers are liking. And that is going to be, I would say, the new normal. The ask of consumers and customers is only going to increase as we sort of proceed forward.
Sure, sir. Fair enough. Okay, and what will be your advice to marketeers who are willing to amalgamate, sustainability with marketing to yield better profits? What will be your advice to them?
See, as a marketeer, what I believe that the role of marketing is fundamentally to understand what a customer needs, connect a company or company's product to match those needs, and eventually influence the consumer or customers to buy. Now, if a consumer or a customer, a psyche is changing very fast to go for those brands or those organizations which are wanting to buy products from purpose-driven or sustainable companies, then as a marketeer, your fundamental role is to ensure that your entire story around sustainability reaches to the nook and corner of the country. So fundamentally, the marketeers of today's generation, they have a very important role to play. If your organization is working around sustainability, making operations sustainable, not only your own operations, but are also making products sustainable, which are then being used by external customers, etc., are we communicating that message to the larger audience? The other aspect, or I would say the ask for marketeers, is how do we drive the sense of urgency? Because eventually, one of the most critical roles for marketing or marketing professionals is to ensure that that communication or the right message reaches to the right stakeholders. And sustainability or being purpose driven is, according to me, one of the top priorities for everyone, whether it is an individual, whether it is a corporate, whether it is a government or anyone. And how do we really disseminate this information around sustainability to larger audience?
Understood. Very well put, sir. So this also brings me to my next question, that technology, as we all know, has been the epicenter of business processes today. How, according to you, are tech disruptions, redefining the overall marketing playbook? What are your observations?
So in a post-COVID scenario, I think the entire buying process of consumers and customers have completely changed.
Yeah.
Just to give you an example, for a company which focuses, so our business, we focus on consumers, we focus on customers around the entire spectrum, right from an electrician to a CEO and everyone who's within that value chain, whether it is a panel builder or a system integrator or a distributor or a channel partner, etc. Everyone is online. And the pace at which the digitization has happened in a post-COVID scenario is tremendous. And more people are going online, searching for information, choosing which brands they would like to eventually evaluate in the entire decision-making process. And then sometimes they are not even coming and talking to physical salesmen. They are doing the entire thing digitally. So I think tech disruption has really multiplied massively in a post-COVID scenario. And for a company like us, I think it has, I would say it has created a lot of opportunities, because within Schneider, there are a lot of initiatives around the digital and the tech part which has taken place. Just to give you an example, we have a portal which is called My Schneider Portal. Now, if you are registered on that portal, right from evaluating our products, understanding what product needs, what needs of yours, because the needs of different type of customers are different. Yeah. Then understanding what are the features, benefits. Sometimes you can also go for an online demo of the product, then ordering the product online, witnessing online how much time will it take for the delivery, and eventually tracking the entire process. Yeah. Is possible in our portal. Now, this portal is available for consumers as well as customers, which includes even channel partners, distributors, panel builders. So this platform is allowing a very simple or a zero touch kind of an approach wherein they don't need to interact with anyone in the organization. Come to this portal, register themselves, explore everything, order what they like. They can see the real-time price of the product and get the delivery of the product. This is one example. So just to answer your question more crudely, I would say that the tech disruption has sort of taken in a very big way within Schneider, wherein what we are looking at is making the life of our consumers and customers, right from searching information to evaluating information and closure of sale, everything, making it very seamless. And it should be more or less, I would say, like a zero touch mechanism wherein they don't need to even physically interact with us.
Sure. Okay, sir. So realizing that marketing has evolved to a great extent, do you also feel that the lines between B2B and B2C marketing are slowly fading away?
Absolutely. So I would say in the past, the fundamental difference between B2B and B2C used to be that a B2B decision making used to be very complex because there are many stakeholders involved in the process. Yeah. Whereas in a B2C decision making, eventually you are selling your product to a single consumer. So the decision making was very fast as compared to B2B. Now, in a post-COVID scenario, what we are seeing that because the consumer or customers' habits have changed and everyone is wanting to come online and search for information, therefore, content quality becomes critical. So understanding what the consumer or the customer exactly need is critical. So fundamentally, where I see the line becoming a lot thinner, and I would say B2B and B2C becoming very similar is end of the day, fundamentally understanding what the consumer needs. So whether you are a panel builder, whether you are a distributor or an end customer or a B2C consumer, the role of marketing, fundamentally, whether you are a B2B marketeer or a B2C marketeer, is shifting towards understanding the customer journey in a very seamless way. So you need to understand how your sort of customer's journey is happening, what information your customer needs, what are the tools which your customer is accessing, and then you have to look inside and see how do you manage those customers' expectation or consumers' expectation across different stages of that journey.
Right.
And therefore, consumer insights are becoming more and more critical. So just to give you an example, within Schneider, we cull data of thousands and millions of customers and influencers every day, because culling of data and big data, etc., is throwing new insights. Fundamentally, in the past, you might be thinking about something which a B2B customer might not do or would do, but big data is really helping us in finding insights, because of which we are able to create tailor-made content based on requirements of customers. So no longer there are days now when you would create a content or a strategy which would fit all type of, let's say, consumers or customers. You will have to create tailor-made experiences for various type of consumers and customers. And that is where I see the line becoming more and more thinner. And even I would say this is a big challenge for marketeers, because it means fundamentally your role is getting widened. You are not only being seen as a marketeer, but you also need to be very sharp in analytics, in data crunching, understanding, being able to pull insights from data, and then sharpen your marketing strategy based on what the consumer or customer really needs.
Sure. So keeping the customer at the core and customization, both are the big takeaways from this answer. So coming down to my last question, sir, what will be your vision to steer the company's growth in the coming few years? And are there any key announcements that we can probably expect from Schneider's end?
So Schneider, overall, if we see, we have contributed tremendously to the growth of the country. We are fully committed towards growth of India in participating in making India Atmanirbhar. Yeah. And one of the core objectives of Schneider as an organization is to drive sustainability. So our vision is to be your digital partner for sustainability and efficiency. So through programs like Green Yoda, one of our goals would be how do we really reach to all the cities in the country, to rural areas, to big cities, to small cities? How do we really, as a sustainable brand, deliver and disseminate this message around sustainability, but really drive a sense of urgency? How do we bring consumers, government bodies, partners, etc., to really start evaluating how can they be more sustainable? I would say that would be one of the key actions. And one of the examples in this regard would be Green Yoda Yatras. So as we speak, there are Green Yoda Yatras which are happening in the country, which is we have started with phase one of this Green Yoda Yatra, wherein we would be reaching to 20 cities, 20 identified cities in the country. Eventually, our aim is to cover almost 500 cities in next 6 months through Green Yoda Yatras, wherein we would be reaching with our products, our solutions, our digital offers, etc., to consumers, customers, government bodies across these 500 cities, demonstrate how our solutions can make things sustainable, but really also understand from them what are their pain points, what is holding them back, and then really bring them together to really contribute in the future of India or making India more resilient and Atmanirbhar.
Sure. All the very best for your endeavors, sir. It was great chatting with you. I'm sure the audiences will also have their set of takeaways. Thanks for your time.